Right, I've put the oil plug in and I've tightened it up to 23 Newton meters. It's a torque setting. A mistake a lot of people make is they think because it's oil they need to tighten it up as if they're tightening a wagon wheel nut up. What you've got to remember is it's a steel plug, like a steel screw in a sense, that's screwing into an aluminium case, so it's only screwing into aluminium threads. If you over tighten it you damage the threads. So 23 Newton meters is a torque setting for the drain plug. Right, what we're going to get onto now is putting the radiator back on, and on the front of the well, not on the front, it's actually on the back. There's a cowl, like a plastic cowl, and your wiring plugs into it, as in like little clips on the wire, on the connectors that clip into the cowl and hold the wiring in place. Now on there, I don't know how well you'll see that, this bit here, it's on the right hand side of the bike, that is one side mounting for your radiator, and it just pushes onto that, and then once the radiator's on it screws on from the other side. So what I'll do, I'll just zoom you back out a little bit. And I'll lift the radiator into place and we'll get it put onto that side. Right, I don't know how well you'll see this, I might just block it completely. Just get it fed through, and you need to keep your wiring in the right place. Move some of the wires as necessary. Once you're happy with where your wiring's at, just push the radiator on. Now radiator swivels, it's designed to do that, but what I'll do now is I'll knock you off again and we'll go to the side and get a bolt put in. Right, we're on the other side now. That's the top mounting bolt for the radiator. I'm just going to zoom you back out a bit. Right, when you're putting your radiator up so that it mounts, there's I'll just zoom you out a bit more so you can see. Behind the radiator there's a wire here that needs to sit up into here behind the mounting bracket, and then when you push the radiator up, just push the rubber grommet mounting up. Make sure that your clutch pipe, whatever you want to call it, it comes on the outside of here, and because it sits like down a groove in that plastic panel. And then just grab your screw. If I can find the hole for it to go in. Got it. Now just screw it in, but you don't need to tighten it up as yet. And as I was saying, the radiator, I'll zoom out a little bit more. The radiator is designed to swivel when you take the bottom mounting bolt off, and it's so that you can get in like to your cylinders, to your spark plug if you were doing a spark plug, like an oil change and putting new plugs in, and then obviously when you're done your radiator goes back into position. Right, so I'm going to stop you there for a minute. No I won't. Another one that comes over here is this plug here that actually plugs into the radiator. I think it's for your fans if I'm not mistaken. That just clips up into place. Let's see if you get it in straight. if you can keep hold of it. That's it. So that just plugs onto there. Right, I'm going to knock you off for now because I'm going to try and get you positioned so you can see inside and where all these plugs plug into. That doesn't make sense. You'll see what I mean when I get round there. So I'll knock you off for now, back in a minute. Right, as you can see, this is the plastic panel that's on the back of the radiator. You can see that there's holes in it, and what them holes are for, I'm just going to get round the other side so I can reach in. What them holes are for is on some of your wiring connectors. I'll just get that over the top so you can see. On some of the wiring connectors there's a bit on the back that plugs through them holes to keep it in place. So there's 4 altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them put in place. I won't film it because when I'm in here you're not going to see a thing anyways. So I'll get them put in place and then we'll come back and carry on getting the radiator put on properly. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, that's the plugs put back in and secure against the, like, plugged in on the panel there. And I said there was 4, there's actually 3. The 4th one, it's actually the horn wire, which has got the tag on it, but it doesn't plug into that bit. It must plug into fairing or something. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, that's them wires in and done. So what I'll do now is I'll set you up again in a different spot and we'll get the rest of this radiator put back on properly. I'll be back in a minute. Right, back in here now. On the last clip I was showing you these plugs fastened back to the panel, and there was one in the middle that was missing, and I showed you the horn wire that had a plug on it for putting it to the, I say a plug, the clip bit that fastens it to the panel, and I couldn't find any other wires, and it was bugging me because I knew, or well, I say I knew, I was 100% sure that there was 4 fastenings that went on there, 4 wires, and I couldn't figure it out. But on closer inspection I found out that the wire that's there now, which is that one, is the horn wire. But what someone had done at some point is, I don't know if I can get up under here and see, up under there there's a horn, and it's the new horn now that's under there. The old horn had obviously stopped working, and basically they'd pulled the wires out, and it was actually, they'd fitted the horn into there. Now that, there's meant to be a bracket sort of thing that loops around these cables, the brake hoses, just to sort of hold them in place. So I'll have to sort something out for that. But yeah, what I did off camera after I sussed out what was going on was I took the radiator back off, which as you can see here, that's still unplugged. I'll just plug that back in. Yeah, I took the radiator back off, took the old original horn off and put the new horn in its place, and then run the wires back through where they should have been. So now we've got the 4 connectors on there as they should be. So that done. Now we'll get back on and get the rest of this radiator sorted. Back in a minute. Right, when I put bolt the bottom of the radiator back in place, what I found was, I remembered when I took the radiator off, it seemed as if the bolt was bent. Now I don't know if you can see, but that is bent, and it's rusty and just generally shit. So I've ratcheted him a new one out, new big washer and one that's straight. So I'll just put that through. What I'll do is zoom in a bit. Now you bought me a radiator, bolts to the hole that's on your, the threaded hole that's on your cam cover on the front head. So you just push that in place. Might need a lift, because remember the top's not tight. That's why I didn't tighten the top one straight away. So just get yourself in, give the bottom of the radiator a push, and then you can screw the bolt in place. And once that's in and tightened up, it'll be nice and sturdy. Now another thing that I was gonna do, just zoom you back out a touch and lift you up. I was gonna put the radiator hose back on, but I'm going to leave that for now, because I'm just bring it back down a bit. Now I don't know, where's the camera? As you can see there, that's pretty well knackered, and the end of it. So, and it's the same on the hose on the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get him a couple of new ones, and then we'll put the hoses back on. So apart from tightening the bolts up on this side, that's pretty much it for now. So I'll just knock you off and we'll go over to the other side. Right, on this side, when I took the radiator off, there's your overflow pipe that comes off your expansion bottle. Now that, when I took it off, if I can zoom in and get the right place. Come on. There. Right, that was tucked in through there, which is at the bottom of the engine, so it sticks like well out. And that was it. When I pulled it up through that bit of clamp there, it was just swinging freely. So we'll put it back on properly. But obviously at some point radiator's been off. Now on the top there is a hole. Now that pipe feeds through that hole, goes down, and I'll try and get it so you can see it, goes through that one there, which is hard to do from the top with one hand. So that feeds through there, then it sort of just comes down here. This camera set a bit better. Comes down here, then feeds through this clamp and down to the floor. But when it's once these pipes are on, I think it's actually meant to go through that one as well, but I might be wrong. It probably doesn't, looking at that. I mean, you could. It's not crimped in any way, and it's not rubbing on anything, especially if I give it a little bit more. So that's the route it's going to take. It doesn't just come down the side of here and then into there. So whoever's had this off last has just been a bit on the lazy side and not put it back together properly. So zoom out a bit. So now you've got it where it comes out the top of the bottle, in through the hole at the top, down through the hole at the bottom, feeds its way down, and then out of the clamp. A bit awkward manoeuvring this camera when it's still on its tripod. And just temporary, again I'm not going to be filling the system up obviously because the hoses aren't on, so I'll just stick the cover back on temporary, just so it doesn't get any crap in it. So for now, with the radiator, that's it. Eventually, when we get there and the pipes are on, etc., we'll fill it up because you've got to bleed it once you've filled it, and you've got the screw there and a screw there. You take that screw out and let the water gurgle through the system until it comes out there, and then put that one back in, and then obviously give your pipes a squeeze, etc., and just try and get as much air out of the system as possible. So we'll do that later on when we get there. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the airbox back in. So I'll knock you off for now and we'll come back when we get the airbox set up. Right, what we've got here is, in here we've got your breather valve assembly, which sits it connects to like a rubber band thing on the bottom of the airbox. That plugs up onto the bottom of the airbox. This plugs up onto the bottom of the airbox. Then this and that, I don't even know you can see it actually. Let's move this camera up a bit. That's better. Right, so this goes onto the bottom of the airbox. This goes onto the bottom of the airbox, that pipe there. This like valve, electronic valve thing, that goes into a rubber holder on the airbox. That connects to the bottom of the airbox, that connects to the bottom of the airbox, and that connects to the bottom of the airbox. So we've got to get all these on, and then we can put the box actually in position over the throttle bodies. So, I don't know how well you'll see this, I might have to zoom out a bit. You still won't see it so well. Right, what you've got, big pipe connects onto there, slightly smaller pipe connects onto there. That electronic valve, breather valve, fits on here, wire comes through and locks into that clip. Then you've got connector goes onto here, the thin, that one there goes onto there, and the other connector fits onto here. So I'll just I'll knock it off and I'll try and get it set up so you can actually see. I'm not promising out at the minute, but we'll see how we go. Right, because I couldn't set it up so that you could see the front bit of the airbox, the pipes and that going on, I've just fitted them and got the valve in the right place. But the next things on the list is get the clip for that bit, clip that in place, push this pipe onto its thing there, and then this one just plugs onto there, and that's the one with the wire that went under that clip there. Now it's ready now to push down onto the throttle bodies to settle it in place, and what I've done is I've actually sprayed a little bit of lube on the threads on the clamps, just so that they screw up a bit easier. I've also took the rags out of the throttle bodies that I had on. So basically just look through the holes in the actual airbox itself, get everything so it's lining up nicely, and as long as everything's in line, it'll all just slip into place without a problem, which it has. So once you've got it in place properly, just get your screwdriver, right, and hold it down into place. I'll make sure you can see that actually. Yeah. So just hold the airbox down, get your screwdriver on. Right, that's that one nipped up. Now the next one, I'll see if I can get your view into it. I'll move the torch. Right, the one under here, which I'll have to take the camera off. Right, let's see if I can illuminate this thing. Right, it's right in the depths of... It's quite awkward this to... Move it this way. Right, knocked the camera off by accident then. Right, you can see the screw on the clamp just in there. So you need quite a long screwdriver to reach in. So what I'll do is I'll just knock it off and I'll tighten that up, and then we'll get on with the rest of it. Back in a minute. Right, I've tightened that clamp up. Double checked the clips on the hoses on this end, and they're in the right place. So, got a new air filter, which will roll out. Right, can only go on one way, these air filters, plus it's stamped on up, so obviously it doesn't want to go in that way. So just sit your air filter in place, get your cover, bit of rattle. Right, and everything sort of should go into place. That's it. Your screws sort of sticking out. Get your Phillips. Just had mine a second ago and now I can't see it. There it is. Hiding from me. Right, and just start screwing your screws in. Don't tighten them up straight away, just get them sort of finger tight-ish until you've got them all in. Now before I put the airbox on, as I said in the last clip, I'd already took the rag out of the throttle bodies, but it's good practice to not forget to take that out, because the bike really won't run well with them in. In fact, it won't run at all, so don't forget to take the rag out. Right, and once you've got them all down finger tight, just give them a little nick. You don't need to go over the top. At the end of the day, you're just screwing into plastic. Over tighten them, you're going to strip them out. Right, and that's your airbox back in place, and all your wiring's on, connected, everything's fitted up as you, well, you saw half of it. You have to take my word for it that the front half's done, but it is. So for now, that's it. What I'll be doing next, before I go any further, is I'll go and ratchet a relay out. I have a bag full of relays somewhere. I'll ratchet a relay or two out. In fact, I'll ratchet two out. And I'll start running some wires in. One for the power socket in the fairing, and the other for the spotlights that are going to be going on it. So I'll call it a day for now. When I come back, I might actually have new clamps and Jubilee clips for the hoses on the radiator, so I might just crack on and do that. But we'll see where we're at when I come back. Alright, that's it for now.